to just get down on your knees and thank God that you know me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm dancing my head back and forth, side to side.
You're very blunt. You're very straightforward, and I like people like that because you don't beat around the bush.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. This is being added to the Russell Index. This is, I think, ready for a run towards end of June or beginning of July, and I say that because I was doing some little measuring here. So from bottom to bottom, it took 27 days. And then from there, from bottom to the next bottom here, took, oops, that's wrong, took 52 days. Now we measure top to top, right? So from previous top to the most recent top, it took about, let's see, oops, got to drag. I should zoom in. What am I doing? So from top to top, it took 47 days. So if this is gonna repeat that pattern, then we would expect, as you can see here, we would expect a pump end of month or beginning of July, if this is going to repeat these patterns. I think we're about to cross over in the MACD, right, as well, which would signal we finally bottomed out, because every time we bottomed out down here, you can see it was followed by, let me pull this up, you can see it bottomed out here, and then we got that crossover on this candle, and then from there it pumped from that candle 121 to 180, right? Here it bottomed out again, crossed over, you would have bought, let's say, it's always assumed you buy at the very top at 140, it came down to 113, then pumped to 180 again, so you still would have made money either way, assuming the bottom didn't break down, which it didn't. So here we are again. It wants to cross over on the daily. I want to see that crossover happens. I want to see that crossover happen. If that happens, I might add that. I think no. I will add 1,000 shares. That's it. 1,000. I'm not gonna go crazy. I want to see that crossover happen though, because if that crossover doesn't happen again, then it gets rejected here. We're just going to get pushed down. That's what that means. So that daily crossover has been a money maker these past couple of times that we've touched this bottom. But let me see if I can measure something. I'm just curious. I'm going to measure one more thing before I let you guys go, because I'm just doing some analysis here on the smaller time frames. I know I call the daily the smaller time frame. Let me look at the yearly. What does the yearly look like? Oh, sideways. Quarterly. What does that look like? Ooh, quarterly doesn't look too good. Look at that quarterly candle. That basically means that means for a whole quarter we dumped, first of all, and this quarter it's just buyers aren't even showing up. That's what that means on that quarterly time frame. The monthly, we've been going sideways here. We need to get, look at this cross, like look at that right here. You see that? Like we need to not cross under or we're gonna dump. We need to reject off of that. But I am tempted to add 1,000 shares, not gonna lie. I am. Like right here, I am tempted. Screw it. Why, should I wait? Because the crossover looks, see, you can see right now, it's happening live as I'm making the video. Look at that. The crossover just happened. You see that? Like it wants it so bad, but I'm gonna have to wait till end of day to see how it actually closes. Because it's not about how we open. It's not about how it closes or how it's looking at 10 a.m. because it's 10 a.m. right now, my time. As of this video, it's about how it closes. If it closes on a strong green candle, then this crossover on the daily should be successful, and we know already, I just showed you, that has always been a signal for us to buy because it's bottomed out. So I might add 1,000 and maybe should I add a tight stop? Yeah, I'll manually exit. Unless it would have to gap down on me at that point. I will have to, I'll manually exit if it goes below like 111, because that's where buyers have like continue to show up here, right? You can see these wicks. Buyers show up here, so let me see. Yeah, you can see the crossover wants to happen, but then it keeps getting rejected because it pulls back a little bit. So that's why I'm saying like there's a signal coming up. on the daily. And it's a signal that has it's been a moneymaker these past couple of times. So that's why I'm watching it very closely. I'll have to check on it end of day, and then 5 minutes before close, see if I want to enter a 1,000 share position is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so because if it's going to repeat history, we should get at least climb back up to like 140s and maybe even 180s. I'm assuming the dilution has stopped, right? I'm assuming. Because the last time they reported dilution was Color Technology files for mixed shelf offering up to 300 million, SEC filing May 27. You know what would be funny? It would be funny if Color stock pumps when the market as a whole comes down. Like, that would be absolutely hilarious. Like, that that disconnect would be absolutely... It would be funny. Let me put it that way. So yeah, there's the first signal, the daily time frame signal, which is a more powerful signal than the other ones. I don't look anything below the daily. I know some people do look at 4 hour, 3 hour, all that, but I don't care. I like looking at the big picture, and the big picture right now is it's my signal at the bottom here, like it has last time. So I think this is almost a buy. But I'm not gonna go in crazy. Like I said, I'm just $1,000 worth. Because if I take a 10-cent loss, it's whatever. Yeah. Let me see something else here. Yeah, I was gonna measure the. Okay, so here it crossed under, right? No, here. Here's the confirmation of the cross under right here on this candle. And then if it crosses over today, that would be, it took 17 days to cross over. Let me do that again up here. Where's the other one? Nope, not that one. Oops. So 17 days for cross under to cross over if it happens. So the cross under happened here. Yeah, it happened here. How many days did it take to cross over? It took, well, it gapped up there, which sucks. You don't really want to chase a gap. But it took 14 days? What? Really? So it took 14 days from crossover to crossunder, and here it took, oops. Am I insane right now? Yeah, it took 14. If it happens today, that's 17 days. So that's interesting. Interesting data right there. Let's look at the previous crossover to crossunder. All right, here. Was this when it tanked? Oh, that's not going to be the same data because it tanked from highs, but let's just measure it anyway. So here's the cross under confirmation. The crossover happened here. Wait, here? No, here. So 21 to interesting. So interesting data here. It takes about 14 to 21 days for us to get that from cross under to crossover. So we might be due for one, is what the logic would say. Based on how we measured. Because, yeah, we're on day, what, 17? From here to here. Yeah, we're on day 17, so in the next few days we should, or pretty much next, if it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, then it's next week the daily MACD crossover has to happen. Because if it doesn't, then we're going down, right? Or we're going sideways in a tight range between 110 and 118, I guess. It could do that also, which would be, just like I said, boring. Like, I want to see that crossover because every time it has happened, it's been a moneymaker. It's been a good signal, right? It's been a good signal. To capture these pumps back to at least 145, the purple line, which acts as resistance, as you can see here. Acts as resistance here, but we actually were able to get up over it. If it can break that purple line, then we head to 180s again. So those are your levels, 140, 180, or the purple line, then 180. Let me look at the smaller time frame and see what's happening. A whole lot of nothing, I bet. Yeah. I think technically you could just buy this and just flip it for cents, but who's going to do that? That's just stupid. You could just buy Mara stock and it'll jump up and down 40, 50 cents at that point. You're better off. Yeah. Let me look at the hourly time frame. Oh, wow, we're just going nowhere. All right, that's it for the video. I will trust his daily MACD signal, but I'll have a tight stop. Manual stop. You guys don't. I manually. I mean, I watch the markets every day, so I don't have to like have a hard stop. It would have to gap down on me at that point for me to take an L. Let me see here. Yeah, right now it's just a fight for whether we get that crossover or not. That's what's happening right now. Because yesterday it was barely there, but today it's getting rejected off that. That white line's getting rejected off the yellow line. Alright, that's it for the video.
Crossing, I take my chance. Risk is managed, I let it down.